Alright everyone, it is 10:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, May 19th, 2011, Thursday. Oh, my voice is screwing up. I wasn't able to get my new asthma medication and my beta blockers today because beta blockers require authorization before my insurance would pay for them. So, unfortunately, since Butthead over here decided that we were going to go to the park instead and not drop me off so that I could call my doctor's office before they closed, I have to wait until first thing in the morning. Yeah. So, anyway, that shit, I'm not even gonna trip, because every time I start tripping about something, I feel my blood pressure rising because I get tired, disoriented, you name it. So, and I know it's my blood pressure. I mean, I talked with Ann Rutt, who is the lead RN for the Hassler Center of Fairview Hospital, which is of Cleveland Clinic. She is actually faculty RN, and she's basically my doctor who is faculty. She's basically my doctor's right-hand woman. Very, very good nurse. Very good nurse. She's pretty much a doctor. She just doesn't have the MD next to her name. You know, because she can say, hey, let's go with this, and it's automatically approved because she's that good. So I'm really blessed that I have excellent doctors and nurses at the clinic that I am a patient of, a member of, whatever you want to call it. It's not really elite. You know, anybody can join that clinic. But anyway, while I was waiting to be picked up by Butthead over here, I had about an hour or so to kind of kill or whatever. So I was kind of in the real world, you know, and me being home all the time and being kind of a homebody, I was able to observe people, and I felt like I was sitting beside myself, asking myself different questions or whispering little comments to myself. I wanted to write them all down, but I was so exhausted. By the time I could find a pen, you know, I thought, hey, I should write this shit down. After that thought appeared in my mind, and I started searching for a pen, it was about, say, 15 minutes or so, and that's when Butthead pulled up in the Hassler Center parking lot, and I was across the street because I had bummed a smoke from somebody. And, whatever. Anyway, I was observing people and, you know, kind of, in my own little world, I guess, but watching everything, you know, it's kind of like on the outside looking in. And first thing I noticed was that there was a woman that was walking down the sidewalk, and she had headphones on, and there were two kids that were riding their bikes directly behind her. You know, just by coincidence, they were riding their bikes directly behind her, and they kept yelling, "Excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, ma'am," and she didn't hear them until they were about maybe 2 feet away from her, and then she finally turned around and was like, took her headphones off, and, you know, gave them a dirty look, and they were able to ride their bikes around her and down. Now, yes, riding your bicycles on a sidewalk is illegal unless you're old or young, and then pretty much nobody really gives a shit. However, that being said, this was Lorraine Avenue, which is a major road in Cleveland. It goes, well, it starts out as Lorraine Avenue in the east all the way into central Cleveland, and then to west, and then as it continues to go west into oblivion, or, you know, west side, it turns into Lorraine Road. And then it's one of the state routes, I think. That doesn't matter. Doesn't give a shit. Don't give a shit. It is, It's a main road in Cleveland, okay? So, wherever y'all are from, imagine your main road, and that's it. So, it's about 4 lanes. It's not that big, but it's not that small either, and it's always busy. Always, 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 always. You know, rush hour, it's even, astronomically, but it's always busy. You know, so them riding on the sidewalk, no big whoop, okay? They were just trying to avoid getting run over, because since it's also, you know, it was right by the hospital, West 108th and Lorraine, or West 180th and Lorraine, excuse me. You know, it's probably safer for them to be on the sidewalks because of ambulances, buses, transportation vehicles, EMS, you know, firefighters, you name it. So, whatever. My point is watching this woman react in such a, you know, dramatic way, and it wasn't like she was trying to be dramatic. It just appeared dramatic to me. Like, oh dear God, you almost ran me over, you crazy rascally rabbits. You know, she had freaking headphones on. Now, okay, I love music, I love listening to music, I love jamming out to music. However, I over the years have developed kind of like this sixth sense around me, to where I can sense if something's, you know, behind me, next to me, in front of me, you know, what have you. And whenever I'm listening to music, my eyes are open, and I'm constantly looking around, constantly rechecking my surroundings, constantly being aware. You can call that street smarts, you can call it common sense, but then again, it's not that common, so why call it that? You can call it whatever you want. However, this woman was completely in her little la la land of boom boom boom, chicka chicka chicka, whatever the hell she was listening to. For all I know, she could have been listening to country music and whatever, you know, but she was listening to something, and it was distracting her enough to where she didn't know what was going on around her. A bus could have hit the curb, did a curb check, and knock her out flat, and she wouldn't have had a fucking clue. And I watched this woman react to this, and the first thing in my head was a snarky comment. Of course, I was sitting by myself and alone, so I would have been talking to myself, and, you know, being right there by the hospital, not a good idea, because somebody over here, you can think you're nuts. Which I am nuts, I'm just not certified, so that's the difference. So, in my head, I thought to myself, well, gee, lady, wake the fuck up. You know? Don't get so distracted by your music that you don't know what the hell's going on around you. Wake the fuck up. Hence, my little parable for today. That was the story. Let me explain it now in a way that you will understand. Okay? Those of you that still watch the news, no worries, I still love you. Those of you that still read every single article that you can get your paws on, be it online or, you know, actual paper, it's alright, still love you. Those of you that still watch mainstream television, listen to mainstream music, can pretty much tell me, pretty much give me a song title and artist that's at least within the top 10 for the week, I still love you. Those of you that are following the whole story about Schwarzenegger and Schreiber, still love you. Now, I'm giving real life examples. Okay? My reason for this is the media is basically the distraction vehicle, as is Disney. But I'm a little hesitant in getting into Disney, because y'all are going to get really pissed at me really fast when I start talking about Disney, and I'm preparing myself. I might do it tonight, because I'm feeling mellow enough to where, you know, if you guys flame me, I'm just gonna be like, go in peace, I love you. Whatever, you know, because everybody has the right to their opinion, and I will defend everyone and anyone as long as they present it in a neutral way that's not inflammatory. As long as you just say, you know, excuse me, I do believe you're wrong, and you're polite about it. I don't mean like, you know, in that way, but I mean as long as you're polite about it, I will defend your opinion to the ground, even if I don't agree with it. Voltaire had it right. But, you know, it's okay to watch the news. It's okay to keep up with current events. It's okay to listen to mainstream music. It's totally fine. I'm not going to judge you. But I'm just saying that if you want to pay attention to what's going on behind the scenes and be aware, those things are distractions. They were designed that way. It's to make you not think about what's really truly going on, so that way the establishment can pull their little hidden agendas out, analyze them, and put them into action, and you have no fucking clue. No clue whatsoever. You know, all of a sudden, oh my God, really? Oh, wow, this is going on? This got signed? When did this happen? When you were watching a Super Bowl, honey. When you were watching that wedding. That's when a lot of shit happens. When something big is going on that captures everybody's attention on a near global fucking scale. Well, I'm speaking for America. On a near continental scale. That's when they launch shit. Or holidays. Or whatever. You know, or some kind of major freaking world tragedy. That's when they launch shit. It's the big rabbit being pulled out of the hat, and then behind the magician's back he pulls out a bouquet of flowers. And you're like, what? Wait, huh? You know, and then the rabbit all of a sudden disappears, and you're just like, where the fuck did the rabbit go? Well, it's under the table, or whatever, you know. Smoke and mirrors. All it is smoke and mirrors. Everything is an illusion. Question everything. And, you know, what's really funny is I'm not trying to encourage you guys to be paranoid. Because when you're paranoid, that means you're afraid. And when you're afraid, that means you're frozen. And if you're frozen, that means you can't move. And if you can't move, you can't act. And if you can't act, you can't try to change shit. I'm only one person, so I can't do much on my own. However, if you agree with me, stand with me. If you disagree with me, stand across from me and just be like, I think you're full of shit. Something. Do something. Don't just sit there. Don't just sit there getting paralyzed by what they're throwing at you. Don't get paralyzed by grief and sorrow. Don't get paralyzed by fear. Don't get paralyzed by anger. Don't let your emotions control you. They're inciting your emotions. They're playing with your emotions. And if you're anything like me, people that play with my emotions piss me off. Because it's like, you know what? You have no right to get into my heart and mind and try to influence how I should think and feel. Nobody has that right. Nobody. You have every right to feel the way that you want to feel, think the way that you want to think, act the way you want to act, and say what you want to say. As long as we don't, you know, step on anybody's toes, you know, because it's all mutual respect. It's the golden rule. So that's it for that. There may be a part 2. I need to get my head right. So love you all. Love, peace, and axle grease. Because the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And believe me, I've been creaking for years.